A big day for Sony Michel and the New England Patriots, 36-20 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. Sony had a slow start. JJ Taylor was getting a bunch of snaps in that first half, but he broke out eventually in this game. He had 2 rushes for over 35 yards, including a career-long 48-yard run, totaling 117 yards on the day. What was different for Sony today for him to have this sort of production?
He had me off his bandwagon. I think that's what was different. You know, I was a big proponent of the Sony Michel and the Patriots drafted him in 2018. I've ridden the Sony train for 2 years, you know, kind of with the pitchforks. Everybody's out saying that it's a bust of a pick, and I've been defending him. This week, last Wednesday, I finally wrote him off. I said Damien Harris is going to come back and steal his job. And then, of course, Sony hears that criticism and goes out there and has a great game. I think the biggest difference from what we saw out of him today versus the first 2 weeks, the setups and the patience and the vision and the ability to find the open spaces have all been there for Michel since his rookie season. But it's the yards after contact and creating in the open field that we haven't seen much of. So he's getting himself in the right position, right? He's got one guy to miss, and every single time that one guy seems to bring him down, and he doesn't really make a defender miss in the open field or make that burst or that acceleration and through the hole to be able to get to that second and third level. So again, great vision, great patience behind his blocks, but just no athleticism, right? Nothing after that. Today, we finally saw him get into the open field. We saw him make some great vision cutbacks and things like that we've seen in the past, but now he's making the safety miss in the middle of the field, or he's making a defender miss in the hole or in the backfield even on one of those runs. That's the difference between what we saw today from Sony and what we saw the first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks, 0 avoided tackles for Sony Michel as a ball carrier. This week, he had at least 3 or 4.
And you touched on it quickly, but JJ Taylor has been running really hard, and he looked really good through portions of this game as well. Damien Harris is set to return in a few days, so there was definitely job security questions around Sony Michel, without a doubt. Did he save his job, or at least make sure that the Patriots continue to give him a fighting shot throughout the rest of the season with his performance today?
I'm really fascinated to see what they do with Damien Harris when he comes back next week because of how good he looked in camp. And he can't just completely throw away the first 2 games of the season and against a really lousy Raiders run defense and see that this is now Sony Michel and we're just going to ride him the rest of the year. I think there's still some of those shortcomings in speed and elusiveness that we've seen out of Michel in the first 2 weeks still happening here today. So I don't think it's going to be a complete turnover. And I actually really thought JJ Taylor got the running game going today. Seemed like the first quarter was pretty anemic. They put Taylor in the game in that burst and that acceleration to turn the corner, kind of added a different element to this running game, and it's been missing from guys like Michel and Burkhead. So not completely. This was obviously a great game for Sony, but I don't think it's completely saying that he's going to be the lead back the rest of the way just because of one good game. But I think it's going to be awfully difficult for the Patriots coaching staff to go away from him after a game like this, and he's going to be a part of this committee. Sony, Rex Burkhead, James White when he comes back, Damien Harris when he comes back. All these guys are going to get touches and snaps in the backfield. I know fantasy football owners hate to hear that. But that's going to be the reality. Is each game, each drive, each situation is going to be treated differently, and the Patriots are going to put the best guy in.
Well, it was a good fantasy day for Burkhead. You wish you played him in your flex on Sunday, that's for sure. But for all the rest of our Patriots coverage, find it on our website at clnsmedia.com and on our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.